Hey, my name is Ryan Mason. I am the founder of Lux Brand and BizBuzz Digital. Catch me this week on The Jesse T Show. A man named Dr. Bora, Santanu Bora, and I mean, he has been, oh my God, such a staple in my life up until this point. But I went back to school, and here I am. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I didn't go back to school. I went home for Christmas break.
Okay.
All right. So at this moment,
junior year or senior year? Junior year.
This is
junior. Okay.
So at this moment, basically, I am at home. I got time, and I'm like, okay, Ryan, what else can you mix up or create or something to convince someone else that this may be a good idea, so you're not looking crazy, right? So in the midst of that, here I am. I'm like, okay, well, there's a guy on Instagram who is basically taking apart shoes. Yeah. So he's taking these shoes apart, he's cutting them up, and he is replacing them with like exotic leather, so lambskin, and ostrich, and snake skin, and python, and he's creating his own shoe basically. So I'm like, maybe this is something I can do. I don't know. Maybe
you actually were thinking about doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was. That led me to trying it. Right. So
you actually tried it.
With the small time I have, at home, and I remember the time of me cutting up an Air Force One, to be exact. It was an old shoe that was sitting there, and I'm sitting. My brother's playing a video game. I'm cutting the shoe up, and he's looking at me like I'm crazy. My mom walks in the room. She's like, then walks away. And my dad walks in and he's making the same face.
Everybody's coming in to see you.
What's this guy doing? So I'm sure they thought it was some type of project or something, or maybe I was bored. But basically, from there, it's like, oh man, this is something I can possibly do. I'm very hands-on. I'm very artistic. I'm very creative. Let me go at it, right? So from there, I decided, okay, I need to do some research, and I went to a local leather shop called Tandy Leather, and basically from there, I walked in. Funny story. I stood in there. The chimes on the door rang, and everyone's, just starts to look at me. And here I am, a black kid in a leather shop, and they're like, of course I felt out of place, right? So from there, I'm just like, okay. So eventually, I just told them. I said, well, here's what here's my idea. Yeah. So to jump back just a second, before I got to that leather shop, I said to myself, okay, Ryan, if you really want to do this, what is it going to take? I realized that I didn't have the resources to go learn how to craft shoes. I was in Alabama.
It's an art,
Yeah, it's an art. I would have to take time, I'd have to leave the state. I also didn't have the financial resources either. Here I am.
So practicality-wise, it was starting to slip away.
Exactly. Yeah. But in the midst of that, I said, well, what's something that I can do potentially? That's maybe a smaller project, something I can do to the shoe. I didn't want to draw on a shoe. So eventually what I thought about was, well, shoelaces have been the same for a long time. Yeah. Why can't I make a really cool shoelace that looks good on both sides, maybe use an exotic leather like Italian lambskin, and let people, basically give the people the option to style the shoe
how they want
to, and potentially increase the value for stores, right? So I had that idea. That's what led me to go into Tandy Leather. So after that, I'm in the store, and I told them my idea, and we went to the back immediately. And I started cutting leather, skiving leather, burning leather. Wow. Doing the whole nine.
Learning.
Learning right then and there. From there, I was definitely convinced enough to invest in myself. So I bought my first lambskin hide from there. I spent hundreds of dollars on it. Really? And it was about all I had at the time. But I wanted to invest in myself. So I did that. And I took this huge tube of lambskin home, right? And now my parents are like, what is going on? So here I am. I'm working together. I'm putting stuff together. My father owns a commercial fencing company in Birmingham. So I'm in the backyard. I'm getting his tools, his saws, everything. I'm like trying to figure out, how can I create this? How can I make this? So it took me about 2 hours to make my first string. Okay. Not even with tips or anything, a string. Right. And it was so fat and thick that it couldn't even fit
in the shoe.
It was just, but I saw the vision. I was like, wow, this could really be something. This is golden. this would literally take
You
so much
tapped into something that was just like really kind of, you knew.
Yeah, it was something so different. So basically from there, I realized, hey, it was going to take me too long. I crafted the equipment as best as I could to try to smooth the process out and make it more efficient. So I realized that, hey, Ryan, you got to go figure something else out. So I got in contact with some of the largest leather manufacturers in the country, and that's when I really went ahead and made videos to send it to them to figure out how can we potentially do this. So they told me it would be a couple of weeks, and after that, I actually went on to school.
Okay.
All right. So sent that off. Now I'm back at school. Now I'm like, okay, I don't really know anything about business.
Yep.
I still haven't realized, my dad, obviously looking from the outside in, looking at my father being a business owner is different than me being his son. I don't think, he played in the NFL. I don't think anything about that.
Yeah.
I also don't think anything about him being a business owner.
Yeah, because he's your dad.
Yeah, because he's my dad.
And like outside looking in, people would think that way, but it's your dad, and that's how you look at your dad. Like my kids are the same way. Like with my business and my podcast, every time they actually see my logo for my podcast, because it's on YouTube and I sign in under the Jesse T show, they're like, Dad, turn it. Like they don't even care. They don't even care. It's like,
right.
And I'm just this local podcaster guy. Like they don't give a shit.
Right, exactly.